Chapter 862, Fin Dragon Attacks. The chapter plunges into action as the Fin Dragon, a colossal sea serpent, bursts from the depths, intent on defending its domain. Zhang Yi has been braced for this encounter and immediately takes command. The sea convulses, 10-meter waves slam into the hull of the Jinfeng. Crew members scramble as the ship heels wildly. Although the beast unleashes torrents of seawater and a sweeping tail blow, Zhang Yi counters expertly. He orders depth charges dropped and unleashes his unique sonic atomic pulse, which can suppress the dragon's own atomic breath. An epic clash ensues, the Fin Dragon bellows furiously, but Zhang Yi's crew manhandle the vessel to evade its strikes. At one point, the Fin Dragon's tail creates a violent whirlpool under the ship. Zhang Yi fights to stabilize the ship amid the maelstrom. Despite the chaos, no one on the Jinfeng is critically injured. Finally, after relentless attacks, the dragon finds itself injured and thwarted. Its atomic breath was neutralized by Zhang Yi's interference, making continued aggression pointless. With a mighty splash, it sinks back toward the deep sea, wounded and resentful. The Jinfeng's crew lets out a collective sigh of relief as the ocean calms. Zhang Yi, spreading his arms in exasperation, declares, "Fair's fair." He muses grimly that their foe's power is formidable. It may have fled for now, but once on shore it will be unpredictable. The chapter ends with the tension easing but everyone aware that this victory may only be temporary. Chapter 863, 40 minutes. In the aftermath of the Fin Dragon's retreat, Zhang Yi and the crew catch their breath. They realize they have only 40 minutes to act on Che Haicheng's plan before the enemy might detect their tampering with the communicator. Zhang Yi reassures the frightened sailors that, despite the dragon's attack, the Jinfeng is seaworthy thanks to their quick countermeasures. He notes it is fortunate that the dragon chose to withdraw rather than continue its assault, a testament to the crew's defense. Inside a control cabin, Che Haicheng and Rudolph move swiftly. Che uses the confusion to pry open the enemy's communication locker. Rudolph keeps watch for any intruders. Zhang Yi continues monitoring sonar, aware that every second counts. On deck, Murphy and the rest support with rapid repairs and standby for orders. Minutes tick by agonizingly slowly. Finally, with only moments to spare, Che snatches the enemy communicator device. He hurriedly retreats to the safety of their cabin. The enemy officers on the lower decks are still stunned by the dragon's assault and have not yet noticed their equipment missing. As time expires, Che signals quietly to Zhang Yi that the communicator is in their hands. This tense chapter emphasizes teamwork and the race against the clock. The Fin Dragon's threat forced the enemy to focus on defense, buying Che just enough time. Zhang Yi's leadership and everyone's calm under pressure allow the theft to succeed undetected for now. Chapter 864, Signal. With the stolen communicator secured, Che Haicheng's hands are shaking as he turns it on. He stows it in his pocket and then quickly hurries to a hidden switchboard in a dark, soundproof room that Zhang Yi had reinforced for emergencies. Using the device's hidden panel, he taps an urgent transmission, a distress signal broadcast to all friendly naval and scientific vessels. Che speaks firmly into the comm link, identifying the ship as Jinfeng of the Huashu Kingdom and declaring an emergency. They have been attacked by unknown forces and badly need rescue. Outside, the rest of the team stands guard, listening for any sign of detection. Che's voice is steady, though internally he is nervous. The slightest mistake now could alert the enemy. After sending the signal, he disables the device, collapsing it so there's no obvious clue the hardware was ever there, and returns it to Rudolph to swallow, effectively concealing it. Zhang Yi exhales, the message is sent and gone. Now all they can do is wait. The crew wonders who will answer. Zhang Yi reminds them that whether or not help arrives, they have done what they can. Che joins him on deck as the dawn light breaks, acknowledging that now fate is out of their hands. The chapter underscores the gravity of their gamble. They have signaled for outside aid, but at the risk of exposing themselves. Their unity and resolve shine through as they brace for any possible outcome. Chapter 865, Columbia Navy. As the Jinfeng limps toward Tianhai City to regroup, Calm returns to the bridge after the emergency signal was sent. Zhang Yi oversees repairs over breakfast the next morning. By chance, he notices Zhu Yunke in the dining area appearing anxious as she tends to her sleeping child. An intercom buzz brings news that the emergency transmission has been picked up. a nearby U.S. science vessel, nicknamed Columbia, has received their SOS. Lieutenant Commander Connor from the Columbia Navy responds, promising to send support. Though far away, they will alert all Allied fleets and satellites. Hearing this, the Jinfeng's crew feels hope swelling. Their gamble may have paid off. Zhang Yi and Che quietly exchange relieved smiles. Colleagues like Basin and Zhou Kor express gratitude to Zhang for his quick action. The chapter also flashes briefly to the perspective of Connor, who realizes China is in need. He swiftly coordinates with the International Task Force. By setting diplomatic pride aside, they choose to help this besieged expedition for the greater good. Back on Jinfeng, Zhu Yong quietly thanks Zhang Yi, reassuring him that they will no longer be alone. The scene ends on a note of cautious optimism. Allied forces are mobilizing in response to the Jinfeng's plea. Chapter 866, Pass the Buck First. With potential reinforcements en route, Zhang Yi focuses on shoring up defenses. Anticipating scrutiny once outside ships arrive, he decides on a pass-the-buck tactic. He will make it seem the Fin Dragon attack was provoked by something other than the Jinfeng's mission. He rehearses a cover story with his trusted officers. Meanwhile, Zhang guides Qin Jingwan to reinforce a secret safe room, a cabin hidden behind a movable panel, originally built as a pirate hideout, in case of infiltration. He temporarily sends aboard only selected crew to greet the foreign navy, while keeping critical team members off radar. As they approach Tianhai city waters, lower-ranking guards are briefed to appear as panicked victims if questioned. Zhang Yi himself readies combat gear and arranges supply stockpiles, all the while downplaying their actual data. He instructs subordinates to imply natural disaster or sea monsters as causes for any damage, deflecting blame. Later, a Columbia liaison boards the ship. Zhang Yi offers a swift tour showing superficial damage. Everyone maintains composure. Behind the scenes, Zhang silently watches for leakers. This chapter highlights Zhang's political savvy. He carefully orchestrates a narrative so any blame falls elsewhere, keeping the crew's true mission hidden until it's safe. Chapter 867, Prepare for Battle. After briefing the Colombian Navy officers under Zhang's practice story, the crew braces for anything. Zhang Yi convenes a final strategy meeting in private. Zhu Yong, Che Haichun, Murphy, and others gather. Zhang outlines that they must be ready for possible hostile encounters, be it leftover Fin Dragon forces or suspicious combat units. The Jinfeng crew, a mix of scientists and soldiers, begins preparation, equipment checks, weapons powered, and medical stations readied. Zhu Yong offers resources to Zhang, and he assigns her to coordinate civilian care for non-combatants, the elderly and the injured. The men practice drills to make sure everyone can fight if needed. Zhang encourages unity and resolves any remaining doubts, reminding them help is coming but they cannot rely solely on it. The chapter ends with nightfall. The crew stands on deck under stars, weapons at the ready, waiting. There is a wary calm as everyone understands. This uneasy lull could break into battle at any time. Their resolve is firm. Together, they will protect each other until relief arrives. Chapter 868, Rain Man. This chapter shifts perspective to Lieutenant Connor of the Columbia Task Force. Connor is cautious by nature, aware that in this turbulent era alliances are fragile. On board the Columbia science ship, he reviews satellite data sent by orbiters monitoring the crisis. A mysterious storm front codenamed Rain Man is approaching from the Pacific towards the Huashu Sea. Something unnatural is causing it. Recognizing an ecological disaster could soon coincide with the Jinfeng's predicament, Connor works with his climatologists to issue warnings to naval and meteorological agencies. He then turns to friendly Navy admirals, reporting the Huashu distress beacon and the strange weather anomaly. Some political tensions arise. There is debate whether to dispatch a rescue fleet now or wait for diplomatic clearance. Connor argues for immediate action, citing humanitarian duty. Meanwhile, on the Jinfeng, Zhang Yi is unaware of this new development. The chapter's focus on Rain Man builds an atmospheric threat looming beyond just their ship. It underscores that the characters' struggles are set against a backdrop of larger global change and that aid is contingent on navigating complex international waters. Chapter 869, A Dilemma. Back on the Jinfeng, the crew faces an internal conflict as a result of Zhang's cover story. Mo and several junior sailors take Zhu Yong's claim that pirates attacked them at face value, so they are jubilant to portray themselves as heroes defending the ship. However, Kaleem, the stern deputy commander, steps in solemnly. He explains that while they may be safe for now, harboring such close-quarters secrecy is risky. He warns the crew, if the Colombian Navy discovers they concealed the communicator theft, there will be severe consequences. Bayamo bristles, but Kaleem's words sink in. The crew realizes their predicament. Do they reveal the truth about the communicator and the Finn Dragon, or continue the charade and risk diplomatic fallout? Zhang Yi stews in this tension, knowing truth could provoke the alien fleets or anger his own government. The dilemma is clear: should they trust international allies with all the facts and hope for leniency, or remain silent and maintain the official story? The chapter ends without resolution, highlighting the fine line between self-preservation and integrity. It places Zhang Yi and company at a crossroads, setting up the critical decision they must soon make. Perfect. I've retrieved the content for chapters 870 through 875 and will now begin preparing detailed summaries for each, clearly labeled by chapter number and title. I'll deliver the summaries shortly in batches, starting with chapter 870, Surrender. Let's get into it. Here is the first portion of your requested batch summaries for chapters 870 to 872 of the SS Arc. Chapter 870, Surrender. As tensions peak, Che Haicheng and his companions taunt Zhang Yi and the rest of the Jin Feng crew, flaunting their allegiance to the Colombian Navy. Despite Zhang Yi previously ensuring their survival and providing food, they show only contempt. Meanwhile, Barlat Kaleem, a powerful figure known as Rain Man, disappears into the storm. Recognizing the dire situation, Zhang Yi feigns surrender to gain a tactical edge, requesting a meeting with a higher authority. His act stuns the crew, especially Zhu Yonk, who accuses him of betrayal. Zhang Yi, unfazed, subtly negotiates with Kaleem, suggesting he possesses valuable intelligence that could benefit the Colombian Navy. He insists on speaking directly to their superior, using this ruse to manipulate the situation while keeping his real intentions hidden. Meanwhile, Copernicus Captain Cryan Connor questions whether Zhang Yi is referencing the divine essence, hinting at a much larger game in motion.